I want to ask you a question as we start today. Have you ever heard of the Transplant Games? This coming week at BBVA Compass Stadium, Houston will host a biannual games where heroes come and celebrate the gift of life. The 2014 Transplant Games of America are being brought to our city by the Houston Sports Authority. 43 teams from all over the country will compete in a 5K run and walk, badminton, basketball, bowling, cycling, golf, swimming, and more. These participants are recipients of organ, eye, and tissue donation. Today in studio, we're joined by three guests who have compelling stories. Two are transplant recipients and are involved in this coming weekend in the games. And then another is one whose son passed away, and she was able to go through the process to help others continue in life. Now, I want to spend my time these first few moments with Rebecca. And Rebecca, your story is pretty powerful because I believe that I understand that you are the very first heart and dual lung transplant patient at Texas Heart Institute. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, yes. I'm the first heart double lung transplant patient that has survived at St. Luke's Hospital. Yes.
You were born with cyanotic congenital heart disease and pulmonary stenosis. And before your transplant, you had pale to blue coloring, weighed 88 pounds, and had trouble breathing. You received your transplant in October of 1999, and it was the first heart double lung transplantation performed there at the Texas Heart Institute. You are now 14 years post-transplantation. You're extremely involved in the Heart Exchange Support Group and increasing the Texas Donor Registry. Understand that there are some 12,000 Texans currently listed on needing an organ transplant and 120,000 nationwide as well. And one of the things about your story is that you encourage patients to wait as they're waiting on their transplant, to wait on God and trust in Him because He can do anything. You're a walking testimony to His power. Take us to pre-op. You get the phone call, you get here we go. You've got an opportunity to get a new heart and lungs. They're doing it all at one time.
It's a great thing now, but at that point, I was human. I was a little afraid.
Sure.
But God gave me the grace. We prayed, and God gave me the grace. And, my favorite scripture is always Philippians 4:6-7, that everything you have, give it to God, thank Him in advance, and He's going to give you the peace. And I've only had one encounter like that in my life, and that was that night where I felt the peace go completely through my body. After the transplant, I came out. I had a paralyzed diaphragm. I had 8 chest tubes. I looked like a car engine, but I was only 88 pounds. I seriously wondered how they got all those tubes into my body. But I also had new heart and lungs. And the first thing I remember is my husband saying to me, "You are pink. You're beautiful."
Oh, wow.
And I remember that. And my doctor who had done my surgery, the very first one he'd ever done, Dr. Scott Shannon, he came into the waiting room where Wayne was, and he said, Wayne said, "How'd it go?" And he sat down, and he said, "It went great." And then he shot up out of the air, and he said, "No, it went fantastic."